was well with everybody. We're going to get started in just a second. I'm sending out my shares. Um, if you are new here and you do not know who I am, hi, my name is Kendra. I'm a plant-based lifestyle strategist. I'm here to help you and support you in understanding and making those connections about the body and understanding how reversing what you have going on with the illness or a disease is possible, and learning how to enjoy yourself during this time of the holidays and not lose your progress or your peace, and realizing and recognizing how we are laying the grounds to balance our hormones, and we have to allow our body to be able to trust us again and know that we're listening to it. And so even during the time of us taking care of ourselves, we can still enjoy our family, we can still have those gatherings, we can still eat those comfort foods without completely throwing off our progress, and as well as filling ourselves with totally inflammatory foods, because we are already in the holiday season, right? It moves fast. The end of the year will be here soon, and we're going to be filling our plates today. That's what people's goals is today, is to eat a whole bunch, right? And so you have to understand that, first of all, for you to be able to treat yourself does not undo all the progress that you have been doing for weeks, months, years, whatever, when it comes to your health journey. And understanding that you being able to take care of yourself does not mean that you have to completely get rid of all the foods that you enjoy. It's a matter of finding the replacements that help you be able to enjoy them and not throw off your body into a complete inflammatory state, to not make yourself go into panic mode. And a lot of people are going to be moving into the space on next week, on Monday, feeling exhausted, inflamed, guilty, and talking negatively about themselves, and not seeing how they can honor their body and also enjoy their life. And so today they're going to be making all the wrong decisions that are going to make you inflamed, that are going to make you feel like you're wrong, and then talk to yourself, talk about yourself negatively, feel exhausted. And next week is going to be a time that a lot of people are going to be dealing with mental battles that are going to be stemming from the foods that they ate. And so listening to your body means that you are not only going to be caring for your process and you reversing what you have going on and learning how to heal and balancing your hormones and feeling that wholeness within yourself, but also understanding that you are not the woman when you first started the journey, whether it's 2 years ago, 1 year ago, and etc. And you don't have to abandon your journey during the holiday season, but it's about you understanding it's not about sacrificing and restricting, but it's about being in alignment and preparation. Knowing that in order for you to celebrate, in order for you to be in this space, you have to keep your peace and your progress by preparing. And so a lot of people don't prepare for the holidays because, one, everybody's going to be cooking and you want to eat the comfort foods. And two, you don't see this as a time that you can be healthy and take care of yourself without eating salads, calorie counting, and restricting, because that's what diet culture teaches you. But when you are in rhythm with what your body needs and you are grounded in your consistency, it does not mean that you stop just because today is Thanksgiving, right? You have to understand that your nervous system wants safety. Your body wants safety. It wants peace. And so when you decide today is the day that you're going to throw yourself into a completely inflammatory state and you're not going to care because it's Thanksgiving, that is making your body not be able to trust you, which makes your nervous system go haywire. And so in return, on Monday, when everybody's going to be in a funky mood and nobody wants to be here and they're exhausted, the reason isn't because everybody had a good time and everybody was up turning up for the weekend, but it's literally because you have fed yourself inflammatory foods that makes your body go haywire and makes your brain not be able to trust you, which is going to cause anxiety, it's going to cause depression, it's going to cause panic attacks, it's going to cause PMSing depending on what cycle phase you're in. And a lot of women are not understanding that PMSing is something that is common, but it's not normal. It is not normal for your body to sit here and PMS every single month. And so PMSing is something that we've given it a cute little term so you can categorize it. But the PMS is stemming from the foods that you eat or the lack of nutrition that your body is needing through the food. And so when you are in the long game of alignment, you understand that you need your nervous system to feel safe. You need you to have flow and to have that preparation. You have to have structure in your feminine, which looks like you cycle syncing. Understanding that your consistency doesn't stop just because it's the holiday, but it doesn't mean that you have to suffer through the holidays. You need to understand exactly how your rhythm flows into the holiday. And if you already have a rhythm set, like the women that were in my balanced body program over the year, you know how it's not just a meal for today and eating a whole bunch of stuff after you starved yourself, but understanding that you set yourself up with stabilizers. So when you finally do eat, and let's say you want to have some yams, something sweet afterwards, after your dinner, you're not going to be sitting here going into basically a diabetic coma after you eat. Because that's what a lot of people don't understand. That whole itis that you have after you eat the big meal isn't just because you have stuffed yourself fully to the point where you can't function, you can't move. A lot of people are in a space that is mimicking diabetes because you are in an insulin resistant state, because your blood sugar has been spiked so high because you haven't eaten all day. And then when you finally did eat, you've overfilled your body and are eating a whole bunch of combinations of salts and sugars, which make your body go into a panic mode and is going to make your insulin spike, because you're going to be sitting there having to regulate your blood sugar. So your blood sugar is going to be pumping, or your pancreas is going to be pumping out more insulin, trying to compensate for the insulin that is getting expelled through the body, which turns into you going back and forth to the bathroom. Because a lot of people don't understand that, how I used to be on those people too. After a day of me, like let's say Thanksgiving, and I go finally get ready to go to bed, while I'm waking up all throughout the night and I'm going pee back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. It's because of all the sugar, and the body didn't get to rest. And so since the body didn't get to rest and it didn't get the peace, you are having an internally chaotic state that is showing and reflecting through the actions that are happening throughout the night. Because your body is supposed to be resetting. It's supposed to be flushing. It's supposed to be supported throughout the night so you can rest. But when you wake up with no energy, when you're constantly waking up throughout the night and you're having to go back and forth to the bathroom, you're not resting. The body's not in a rested state. So this is for the people who have to depend on coffee on a regular basis. It's not just about Thanksgiving. This is a everyday habit that people deal with. And so you're not going to fall off track because you lack willpower, you're weak, or you're just a woman that has hormones that go all over the place. But it's because you have no structure in a season that is not only chaotic and stressful, but also you have no plan how to connect back to your body, or you had no connectivity in the beginning. So even when you do decide that you're going to eat a dessert today, that does not throw off your connection with your body. But when you had no connection in the beginning and you had no plan at all of how to connect to the body, yeah, you're going to feel like you have to start January 1st, because that's what everybody does, right? Everybody eats right by January 1st and everybody gets to the gym. But by March, nobody's eating good anymore. Nobody's in the gym anymore. And it's not because everybody's gotten their body right and it's good for the rest of the year, but it's because nobody started a new habit pattern that makes you connect back with your body so that you can sustain it. And so that's what I teach in my balanced body program, is how to sustain it. Because you're dealing with all these pain points of your cravings are super, super loud, way louder than you having any type of willpower or discernment of what y'all want to say it is, when in reality, it's just the fact that you don't have habits to set you up. The fatigue is so real, especially for women, that you don't even realize what the body is supposed to feel like day to day on a regular basis. You stress eat, you emotionally eat, sitting here dealing with all the issues of PMSing, which is causing you to eat all the sugar. It's causing you to sit here and stress eat. It's causing you to emotionally eat because now you're in your feelings and you don't know why, so you want some ice cream. You're dealing with the bloating every single month, and it's becoming normal at this point. You think it's just a part of life, right? Or as a woman, every time you go through a cycle, you're supposed to bloat. That's just a part of it, which is not. Sitting here dealing with the fact that your cycle is either heavy, irregular, or a combination of all. Blood sugar is unstable. You're sitting here dealing with the issues of, it feels hard to have boundaries around food. It feels hard to have boundaries around your life in general, because it all ties together. It's deeper than just having a set thing about food or a set thing about relationships. It all ties together because it's a mental thing. When you're starting your health journey, if you're sitting here thinking in the space of diet culture, it's not going to work, it sucks, I'm going to have to starve, oh my goodness, I hate eating salads all day. That's what diet culture has programmed into you. And how long do you stick with the diet when you have that mindset? I'm not really wanting to do this, but I want to lose weight. Oh, I want to go on this trip, so I'm going to lose 5 pounds or 10 pounds or 20 pounds or whatever. You never stick with it because not only was your mindset not right, but the habits don't align with you. And so when you have those two things out of alignment, your mindset and the habits are not aligned with you, you can never sustain it. Because the key factor between following a healthy lifestyle versus following diet culture is never sustainable. It's flopping to a healthy habit 1 minute and flopping back to the next of, I don't really need to take care of my body. I've been doing it for a month now. I'm going to give up. But when you have the habits that help you be able to sustain it, you might not hit the gym every single day, but you know if you have gone 3 days without hitting the gym, it feels off. You know after 3 days of you not eating correctly, you feel off. You know what the body feels like when it starts to get sluggish. You can look at yourself and not say, ooh, I look bad, I'm going to be bloated, I'm fat, whatever negative thing that you have to say. But you look at yourself and you say, I love myself and I have grace for myself. And I notice that I've been going through a hard time, but this is not how my body's supposed to operate or look. So what I'm going to do is X, Y, and Z. This is how we have a plan. Because society has taught us, when you're looking at movies and TV, right, as a woman, oh, my hips are so big. Oh, my arms are big. Oh, my face is fat. To start talking negatively about yourself when you have no habits to set yourself up in the lifestyle that you want. But when you understand that that is programming to keep you in the same negative space that you are currently in, you will stop doing that. But you have to have the mindset around what you're supposed to feel like, how your brain is supposed to operate, and get away from the training that they have taught you, because that is keeping you in this endless cycle of going down a path of illness and disease. Because that's where we're ending up. Millions of women are dealing with hormonal imbalances. We're not getting to the root cause of why they're dealing with the hormonal imbalances. And then they're blaming you as a woman for menstruating for your hormonal imbalances. When it's in the food, it's in your products, it's in every aspect. It's even in the programming of TVs. And they blame your body for naturally doing what it's supposed to do, which is menstruating. They're blaming your body for having all the inflammation from your menstruation. They're blaming the weight gain in your body for menstruation. They're blaming your cravings on menstruation. They're blaming your fatigue on your menstruation, your burnout on your menstruation. And we have gotten so misconstrued of what that time is supposed to be like and how cycle syncing supports us, because we're not taught how to, that we don't even understand how powerful and impactful it is during your menstruation time to rest and to reset the body versus blaming it and hating it. But that's because we're not set in a space where we can reset and reconnect with the body. We are in spaces where they teach us how to be in a hormonally chaotic state and to stay there, and then to raise more generations after us in a hormonally chaotic state. Because your hormones aren't fragile. Your body isn't fragile. Your healing process isn't fragile either. But they put you in this space where they make you think that if you do something wrong, it has to be perfect. And if it's not perfect, you're completely thrown off and all your progress goes out the door. If you have that mindset, if I would have had that mindset, when I first started going plant-based, I would have been like, oh, I messed up. I would never be plant-based, and I guess I would just quit. Because I messed up. The first three weeks to 3 months, I always say 3 weeks, for majority specifically, was a lot of trial and error. About 3 months, it was less trial and error, and then just random things happening in between. And if I would have had that mindset of thinking, oh, it's all over with, I messed up, I ate this, or I had this, I would have never been plant-based. It took me a while to get rid of dairy. It took me a while to understand how many different things had dairy and eggs in it. But when you have the mindset of thinking it's all or nothing, that's what makes you believe that it's so fragile that you cannot be a human and mess up. And that's how you keep yourself in the space of diet culture. Because what happens? You eat Jenny Craig Weight Watchers. You eat too many calories, you eat too many, or too many points are used today. Oh, you threw off your entire week. It's never going to work. That's what they teach you in these systems that are not sustainable. But your habits, your boundaries, your awareness, it all can be stabilized by you understanding what the body is asking for and what it's needing. Because the gut is in science is nicknamed your second brain. So the gut is a place that needs to be stabilized for your brain to be stabilized. It's not the only aspect of throwing off your brain or being stable, but is a major portion and a major part, because your adrenal glands that are connected to your brain, it is a gland, it is going to pump out cortisol when you are in a chaotic state inside the brain, which AKA leads from the gut. And so when you are also having an issue inside the gut of digesting correctly, your pH isn't high enough, that also holds on to cortisol and produces more cortisol, and it starts also reproducing in the gut as well. So now the gut has a panic hormone, a stress hormone inside of it, and so does the brain as it's pumping out adrenals. And this is going to the liver, it's going to the pancreas, it's going to the kidneys. It's a whole system. When your body is not given what it needs to, when you are not eating and using food as your medicine and understanding how impactful that is. So when you're eating heavy processed foods, heavy sugary processed foods, when you're eating a whole bunch of salt, sugar, and fats, unhealthy fats, all combined together in these processed snacks that you love to eat, this is making your gut inflamed. Same thing with meat, same thing with dairy, because when you don't understand what is happening inside the food, why things are tasting differently, why things don't taste the same, why meat quality has gone down, but somehow the prices have gone up, you're going to continuously be walking around with a bloated belly. You're constantly going to be having all of this nervous system issues that is stemming from the foods that you eat. Because your immune system, I think over 70% of your immune system is inside the gut. Your immune system is impacted inside of the gut. So for people who get sick all the time, or specifically around January, because I love this time, just to pinpoint out, for people who don't understand, you go from Thanksgiving, Christmas, and then the beginning of the year eating whatever, all the crap. And then you wonder why January and February are the sick months. These are the flu season. This is the time where everybody gets sick. All these babies are so sick. Because I used to work with kids. I worked with kids for 5 years. It's not just because it's flu season. It's literally because you have fed yourself inflammatory foods for 3 months straight. Because you don't stop. You get leftovers. You're addicted to fried foods and dairy again. You haven't been eating this way in a while, right? And then you're sitting back and your nervous system, your immune system specifically, your immune system is panicking because your gut has been thrown off for 3 straight months. Your nervous system now cannot trust you because for 3 straight months, all you've been doing is feeding your body inflammatory foods. And then you wonder why you get the flu. You wonder why all of a sudden you have what happened in 2020. You're wondering how you're so sick all the time and you're trying to figure out why, because you're not a sickly person. It's the food. You have to stop eating inflammatory foods. You have to stop feeding your body chaotic foods, because that's what they are. This is spiritually dead food, and you eat that for 3 months. Like, really think about that, because during this time, barely anybody's eating any fruit. I can guarantee your family today ain't gonna have a fruit platter on the table. If they do, what kind of fruit is it? Because I'd love to know. I don't think I have ever seen, specifically in my family, a fruit platter be rolled out on Thanksgiving. Especially not organic fruits. So you have to really sit back and think about the process that you put your body through for 3+ months. Because 3 months is probably the minimum. 3+ months, because you're going through wintertime. People want comfort foods. They want carbs. They want calories. Because I talked about this last live. It's like a bear in hibernation. I know my body gets like that too. During the wintertime, I feel like I eat more warm, calorie heavy foods versus the summertime, where I'm usually eating more fruits and more lighter foods because it's hot outside. I don't want to be sitting here with all this heavy food on me. During the wintertime, I don't want to be cold. I want to be warm. So I'm eating grilled cheeses. I'm eating soups. Like, even though they're lighter foods, I'm still eating a heavy quantity of carbs. And so I feel like a lot of people operate that way as well. But when you have no stabilizers with a whole bunch of carbs, with a whole bunch of heavy foods, dairy, meat, and etc., you are throwing off your blood sugar. This is going to throw off your gut, and it's going to throw off your whole entire balance with your body. And this is not even including if you consume alcohol during this time. It's not even including all the artificial and fake ingredients inside of the food. And so these are just little aspects that you are putting burdens on your body just by doing those simple habits that can be changed. Because they're simple. The simple habits that you have that are poisoning you are simple solutions. There are simple solutions to it all. It's not just about, oh, I can never have this again. It's finding a different alternative, finding a different route. Because going down the same path and expecting a different result is a definition of insanity. That's the reason why everybody in your family, all the women are having breast cancer, all the women have ovarian cancer, all the men are sitting here dealing with some kind of cancer, all the women have diabetes, or all the men have diabetes. It's not because it runs in your family. It's because all of y'all have the same habits and nobody has changed anything. So the fatigue you're having, migraines, brain fog. I have women who would keep coming to me. Apparently this is like a big thing this year. I don't feel like last year I had this many women coming to me talking about their low libido. And I'm like, what are you eating? Because that's a sign of a hormonal imbalance right there, because majority of these women aren't even old. Like, even if you are older in life, later on in life, you still are going to have a normal hormone balance if you were eating the foods that help you be able to be hormonally imbalanced. But I'm talking to women in their 30s. I'm talking to women in their 40s. There's absolutely no reason for you to be that in that state of life and you still to be sitting here not knowing how to cycle sync, being hormonally imbalanced, and dealing with a low libido and not knowing what to do about it. And then you go to the doctor and the doctor blames it on you menstruating because you're a woman. Oh, your iron is low because you menstruate. You're a woman. It just makes no sense. But this is the process that we go under as women because that's what we're taught. We are taught because you are a woman and you menstruate. This is just a part of your life. You're going to have low iron. But they don't teach you of the fact that a lot of these women who deal with diabetes or have diabetes, who are having insulin resistance, you are eating terrible foods that do not stabilize your body during a time of your cycle phases that is not your menstruation, but a cycle phase that you are more likely to be insulin resistant, and you shouldn't be eating all that sugar. But they don't teach you that. And so then you wonder why by 30, 40, 50, you have been diagnosed with diabetes. But for 10, 20, 30 years, you've been eating during a time that you were insulin resistant more sugar than you would throughout the month, which is throwing off your body even more, causing bloating, causing the cravings to get heavier, causing you to sit here and have PMSing. So then you're sitting there blaming your cramps on your body and your menstruation, but the cramps are coming from all the sugar that you shouldn't have been eating right then and there. So it's a complete process of not supporting your body, not giving it stability, not giving it safety, and not giving it nourishment. And over the years of you doing this, you think doing a little bit of diets, maybe once or twice a year, is how you fix this. And this is what the generations before you, the generations that are here, this is what they have done. And has it worked? Because if diet culture really did work, if it worked, you wouldn't have to keep flopping back and forth and doing it. You wouldn't have to sit here and starve yourself into being healthy. Because as somebody who's been plant-based for 5 years, there's not a day that I've had to starve myself, even at my smallest, at the biggest, the smallest, whatever in between. During the time of me being plant-based, I have never had to starve myself. I've never been sitting here saying, oh, I can't eat that. Oh my goodness, because it has sugar in it. Because I have a plan. I know what my cycle needs, I know what I need, and I act accordingly. So if I'm sitting here craving a whole bunch of sugar and a whole bunch of chocolate, and I know it's during the time of right before my menstruation, or it's during that time that I'm in insulin resistance, no, I don't need the sugar. I don't need the chocolate. What I need to do is go get me a stabilizer for my blood sugar, 1. And 2, I need to go make sure my iron and my magnesium is where it needs to be. And then we act accordingly. Because majority of the time now, I don't even crave sugar. It's more like I saw something sweet and I was like, oh man, that might be good. I want to taste a little bit of that. And it's not like I have to eat the whole thing in one sitting, because a lot of people don't even have enough discernment to be able to cut a cupcake in half and not eat the whole thing in one sitting. But as somebody who doesn't even crave sugar the way that I used to anymore, and I think last year, I went 2 months. I went 1 month of like full no sugar, or like cutting myself or weaning myself off, and then 1 month of no sugar completely. I'm telling you, it's not as difficult as you think. It takes 2 weeks. It takes 2 full weeks of you, if you eat snacks before bed or during the day, 2 full weeks of you staying disciplined, eat fruits instead of that crap, and you'll be done with the addiction. Because a lot of people are addicted to sugar. And they're going to be addicted to sugar after today, specifically because you're going to go home with all the cakes, the cookies, the pies, and whatever else, and you're going to have a good time eating it. But then on Monday, you're going to be talking crap about yourself. By Christmas, you're going to be talking crap about yourself. By New Year, you're going to be sitting here telling everybody how you have a goal to lose weight because you gained 10 pounds in these last couple of months, and you're so confused because you were doing so good on your health journey. Reframe how you enjoy life. Reframe how you enjoy foods. Don't abandon, but reframe it. And when you do reframe it, you can sit with the family and enjoy your plate. You can sit with the family and be at a restaurant and not eat all the crap because you're around meat. Because I have people who come and work with me and they ask, how do you live and operate in a space where somebody eats the foods that you enjoy around you? And I'm like, why are you not recreating the foods that you want? Like, that's a simple question. Because if your thought process, I can't eat this, instead of thinking I can make this and I don't have to eat the meat itself, that's the problem. And that's what I mean by it's a mental thing first. Because my most recent client was saying the same thing, how she was like, yes, my husband eats meat still, but I'm in the space where I've started cutting things out. I want less inflammatory foods. How do I operate in a space where he's still eating meat around me? And I'm like, why are you letting yourself get to the point where you're still hungry and you're allowing his cravings to control your cravings? And that's a genuine question for everybody. Why are you letting somebody else's cravings control yours? Because before they were making whatever they were making, were you really even bothered by it? Why did you let yourself get to the point where you were that hungry that what they're eating is bothering you or interpreting what you need to eat next? Because I live in a household where people still eat meat. Like I said, I've been plant-based for 5 years. And never have I ever sat there and said, screw all this, forget all of it, and had to sit down and eat with them too. It's a mental thing. That looks good. You know what? I want to make some of that. Let me figure out if I have the ingredients for me to make this. You know what? That looks good, but instead I want this because this is what I was craving in the beginning. I have all the groceries for me to make X, Y, and Z. You're eating that. That's great. We can sit down. We can eat together, but I'm not going to eat that. I go to restaurants with my family. I'm probably going to go hang out with my family today. I don't celebrate Thanksgiving or anything like that. But it's not about perfection, nor it's about restriction. It's about awareness and having a plan. It's about you understanding the power within yourself and knowing that it's deeper than you just having some type of, what is it called? Would they be like a lack of motivation? Because motivation is fleeting. One minute you're motivated, next minute you're not. That's why the plan is there. Because when you follow the plan, you don't need motivation. Because you have a set schedule. This is what I'm going to do. You have a set plan. This is what I'm going to do. Connect X, Y, and Z dots. This is what I do. I don't do what you do because you're over there. You have your own plan, if you even have one. What I'm worried about is me and how I prepare for my day. But when you have a space or you don't have a space where it's stable, where you're comfortable, you are going to be easily shaken. We are in a space, and this is why I say it ties to everything. We are in a space in 2025 going into 2026 where if you were easily shaken, you were easily bothered, you're going to struggle. You are going to struggle for preparation for yourself. You're going to be struggling for preparation if you have children. You're going to be struggling with the stress from your job. It's going to be a lot of struggle to come in these next few years because you don't have a discernment and you don't have that. I'm just going to say that plan. That's the only way I can say it. You don't have that structure and that plan, that stability that is going to help you be able to have a mindset in a space that we are currently in that is taxing. But if you are looking for a space that is going to help you be supported and know what preparation looks like, so you want to eat to nourish your body, you want to balance your blood sugar and know what stabilizers are for your blood sugar, you want to hydrate and mineralize the body, you want to cycle sync with the body, don't restrict and remove things without adding in more, adding in what you're looking for. Slow down the process of you rushing and understanding how it's about connecting and knowing what the vision is and knowing what the body needs and giving yourself permission to enjoy instead of feeling guilty, but enjoying in the correct space. Not a temporary moment to sabotage all your progress, but a moment to understand that I am human, and even if I do make a mistake, it doesn't throw out all my progress. Giving yourself permission to reparent those habits that do not support you and do not suit you, regardless if your family is still following them. Because that's the problem. We're raising a new generation, or raising the next generation, or the generation that is here currently, that still does not understand as a woman how to cycle sync, does not understand how to be connected with their body, does not know what healthy eating looks like, healthy living looks like, but instead how to starve yourself, talk crazy about yourself, and act crazy. And that's not what it needs to be. And if you are in the space where you want to know what structure looks like and having that foundation that is going to support you and have that cycle syncing help and learn how to support the body and staying in a stabilized place. Thank you for the likes and the follows, guys. I really appreciate it. My Balanced Body program is going to help you be able to do all of this. It's going to tie in exactly how you can eat more plant-based foods, support the body, but still be able to enjoy a healthy lifestyle, healthy living, and also be able to understand how it can be simplified for you to reverse what you have going on. It doesn't have to be a difficult situation for you to balance your hormones, but it's about you knowing how to simplify the process. And that's what the structure of the Balanced Body program is going to help you be able to do. So if you were looking for that help, and you want to use food as your medicine, you want to support your gut, your liver, your pancreas, your kidneys, reduce your inflammation, learn cycle syncing tactics and how this supports you and what you should be eating every single day and how you operate, and reconnect with your hormones, that is linked in my bio. What questions do you guys have for me? If you have any questions about the Balanced Body program, it won't be here in 2026. So don't think you can wait until next year or tax season and it's going to be here, because it's not. I have had the Balanced Body program running, I think, for 2 years now. I'm going to be retiring it when the new year starts. For the ones who are in here by 2025, it's a 6-week program. So they'll have it rolling over into 2026. But after that last week of the program goers, it will be over with. That's just because I'm going to be rolling out something different, something new. And it's not going to be the same as the Balanced Body program. I love that program. It is great. It has helped many women this year. But it's time for us to get on the long game alignment. And I feel like the structure of what I have coming is going to be completely different. And at the same time, still tie in. But it's not going to be the Balanced Body program. So if you were looking for help with that, it is linked in my bio. Any more questions that you guys have, or any questions that you guys have for me before I hop off? And if you do celebrate, this is supposed to be motivation. This is not something to make you feel bad as you eat your plate, but it's understanding the fact that you can make yourself successful in this next month, successful at the end of the year and going into 2026, or you can just be your biggest crutch, because we don't have to be our biggest crutch and still be able to enjoy ourselves. And so that's what I teach the women in my Balanced Body program, is how to be in alignment, how to understand how we support ourselves and we support our healthy lifestyle, ourselves mentally, physically, and emotionally, because it's all important in this time. I thank you guys for the likes. No questions for me at all. If you are new here and you have not followed me on YouTube, or if you are watching this later on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe. Drop any questions that you have down below on YouTube, and I do respond to my comments. I'm trying to think if there was any. I did send out an email this morning. No, I didn't send it out yet. It goes out at 12. I didn't send out a Wellness Wednesday like we normally do. I had one for today because I thought it'd be better to send it today, just as like a friendly reminder of what we've been talking about this week, for not only the people who are working with me currently, but also for the people who are thinking about it, or the people who have worked with me, who are still on my email list. So if you're not on that, I send out a Wellness Wednesday every single week. Get in, because you missed a lot this year. Last year, I sent out free recipes every single week. And this year, I sent out a Wellness Wednesday every single week of like things that I found, studies, connections, and etc. And so next year, I don't know what the new plan is going to be. But if you are on my email list, you get all the little nitty gritty stuff that I either can't talk about here on TikTok, or if anything happens with TikTok, then you'll know where we are. So I'm not seeing any questions. All the links are in my bio. Check those out. I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day. This will be posted on YouTube, but it'll be after the holidays. So I hope that you have an amazing rest.